Happy Lunar New Year! 2026 is the year of the horse, so today we're ranking every horse Pokemon currently available in the main series games, from Transfer Immediately tier all the way up to S tier. I'll be judging these Pokemon based on 3 criteria: their design, their shiny colors, and as a Pokemon GO player, I'll also give extra points if they're meta relevant. Of course, these are just my opinions, so feel free to agree or disagree with the ranking. Alright, here are all the horse Pokemon we have so far. Let's start with the earliest entry in the Pokedex, the OG Fire Horse Pokemon, Ponyta. Appearance-wise, it perfectly represents a pre-evolution Fire Horse Pokemon. It looks lovable, valiant, and just incredibly clean in design. It's simple, iconic, so no complaints from me. And the shiny makes the Cantonian Ponyta even better. The amber flames turn into blue flames, and blue fires burn hotter than orange, so I think it is the perfect color choice to show the rarity of a shiny fire-type Pokemon. In terms of meta relevance in Pokemon GO, yeah, there's basically no play, we all know that. So realistically, this should put Ponyta somewhere around A tier, but I'm putting it in S tier. I used to dream of having a Ponyta and playing with it when I was a kid, so in my heart, it has to be S tier. Next up, we've got Rapidash. Rapidash is a fantastic evolution design for Ponyta. Turning a cutesy fire pony into a fierce, majestic, flaming unicorn is a chef's kiss kind of an upgrade. The shiny colors, I don't know, I think it could be a hit or miss for some people. Don't get me wrong, it does look good, but personally, if I had to choose between Ponyta's bright blue mane and Rapidash's lavender one, I prefer the blue. Now in Pokemon GO, it's pretty much in the same situation as Ponyta, which is not great right now, but maybe it will get a chance to shine in the future, so overall I'm putting Rapidash in A tier. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get any new horse Pokemon from Gen 2 to Gen 4. That's about 14 years with just Ponyta and Rapidash before the Blissey line showed up in Pokemon Black and White. And Blissey is clearly a zebra. Turning zebra stripes into lightning bolts is an interesting adaptation of the real-life Pokemon. It does feel a little low effort for a Gen 5 Pokemon, but it's not bad either. It definitely looks much better when its mane lights up and turns yellow, more interesting at least. The shiny is also just okay. The color change is pretty subtle and not bold enough for my taste. I don't think it's terrible, I think it might even be better than Zebstrika's shiny. No extra points given for Pokemon GO meta relevance, so I'm putting Blissey in B tier. Evolving from Blissey, we have Zebstrika. Compared to its pre-evolution, it became more intense looking. The mane is lusher, the eyes look more assertive, and all the stripes light up now. But overall, it still follows the same design logic as Blissey, so it doesn't feel like a huge step up for me. The shiny is, alright. You know those sun-faded black shirts when you leave them under the sun for too long and you get patches and stripes of purple or white? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that look, and I'm not a fan of that. In terms of meta relevance, there's basically no play here either, so overall I'm putting Zebstrika in C tier. And then we have our first mythical horse Pokemon, Keldeo. When it was first revealed, I didn't really understand what was going on with the design, but once I look closer, the inspiration starts to make sense. It's got that feathered hat look based on the youngest and newest member of the Three Musketeers, light blue mane for its water typing, and a clearly more youthful appearance when compared with the other Swords of Justice members. The shiny also looks great. The green really pops, almost like the color of some deep green lakes. I think it works really well. And in Pokemon GO, Keldeo actually does have some use. In the current meta, Resolute form Keldeo ranks number 49 in the Master League, and the Ordinary form ranks 71, which certainly earns it some extra points. So even though I was leaning to B tier at first, the meta relevance pushes Keldeo up to A tier. Moving on to Gen 7, the Alola region, we have Mudbray. It's basically a mud donkey. Did the design blow me away? No. But is it cute? Yeah, it's pretty cute. The little fringe and the dot eyes give it a lot of charm, and the shiny is actually not bad. It's not a drastic change, but the more vibrant, warm, mustardy color really stands out. I think it reflects the status of a shiny Pokemon well, so I'm putting Mudbray in B tier. Alright, now Mudstale here. I think this is a great evolution. It looks strong and imposing. Those prominent orange legs complement that muddy brown body nicely, and I think the braided mane is a beautiful addition. The shiny looks even better in my opinion. I think it keeps that same mustard yellow tone from shiny Mudbray, but here in the Pokemon Home sprite, it looks almost golden. The colors work really well together. The denim blue mane with the earthy tones gives it strong cowboy vibes, which I really like. In terms of meta relevance in Pokemon GO, currently it sits at rank rank 182 in the Master League, so it's kind of mid. I'm putting Mustail in A tier. Coming up next, the many horse Pokemon of the Galar region. We're leading with the Galarian Ponyta, and if the colorful Keldeo faintly reminds you of My Little Pony, then this one is basically the Little Pony. Look at this. This is peak fairy type design. It's essentially a baby unicorn with dreamy, cotton candy pastel colors, and look at those big doll-like eyes. Do I even need to say more? I love the design. The shiny makes Galarian Ponyta even better. The light yellow adds extra elegance and some sparkle to the design, and it works really well with the existing colors even though the rest stays mostly the same. This is easily an S tier Pokemon for me. Now for Galarian Rapidash. The design is great overall. The flowing mane, the pastel colors, the whole mythical, fairy, unicorn vibe. But to me personally, the eyes don't seem to match. They're giving Glameow and Perugly, if you know what I mean. I don't really know how to explain it, but something about them looks a bit off compared to the rest of the elegant design. I do like that the shiny keeps the same color palette as Galarian Ponyta though. I appreciate the cohesion. And in terms of meta relevance in Pokemon GO, Galarian Rapidash actually sees some play in certain special cups like the Psychic Cup. So even though the design alone would probably put it in B tier for me, the extra meta value pushes Galarian Rapidash up to A tier. Next, we have the legendary wild horse from the Crown Tundra DLC. Oh boy, Glastrier. Where do I begin? To be honest with you, this design does not work for me at all. You can totally disagree with me here. I just think Glastrier doesn't feel like a legendary Pokemon to me. The proportions feel a bit off, the eyes look kind of empty, and the whole design feels incomplete to me. The best way I can describe it is this. I used to have a toy Puddo that was super cute when it had all its fur, but whenever it had to be fully shaved because of a skin condition, it looked like a completely different creature. And Glastrier gives me that same feeling, like something's missing from the design. And don't even get me started on the shiny. Glastrier hasn't been released in Pokemon GO yet, but based on the stats from Pokemon GO Hub, there are just way better Ice-type attackers to use in the game. Even when mounted by Calyrex, it still doesn't look like it will improve much. So I'm putting Glastrier in my lowest tier. Well, but I guess I don't hate it enough to say I'll transfer it immediately. It just feels lacking, especially compared to its counterpart Spectrier. So I guess I'm renaming this tier 2 only for Pokédex completion purposes. Yeah, that's better. Finally, we have Spectrier, which is the better legendary horse Pokemon in my opinion. The ghost horse concept is executed so well. The detached ghostly legs, the long flowing purple mane, the dark body, and even the Kelpie-like inspiration, which I personally love. The whole thing just feels sleek, eerie, and very fitting for Spectrier's typing. The shiny also gives off scary vibes. That deep wine-like color fits the haunted Shadow Steed aesthetic really well and keeps the overall concept consistent. Now for the meta relevance in Pokemon GO. It's expected to be much more useful than Glastrier, especially when combined with Calyrex. According to Pokemon GO Hub, it is estimated to be one of the top ghost type attackers, potentially even in the top 10. Spectrier hasn't been released yet, but the potential alone gives it bonus points. So for all those reasons, I'm putting Spectrier in S tier. And that's my list. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my rankings. Thanks for watching this video, please take care, stay hydrated, and to everybody celebrating, Happy Lunar New Year. Bye!